Shabbat Shalom, friends. What a what a remarkable and interesting time it is to be together with you. Um, this is the evening of the sixth day as we head into the seventh day of the week, the day that we call Shabbat. It becomes a transition time, a time to move from the stress and strain of the week into the privilege of relaxing during the weekend. And when we've had a year like we've had, when we've had a week like the world has had, especially with the challenging news coming out of the Middle East, that just tears at our heart, no matter who you are or your political feelings about the matter, everybody's heart is torn. After weeks like this, we need Shabbat more than ever. And what is Shabbat but the pursuit of relaxation and health? And so the the beauty of what we're doing here tonight is multiple with many different layers. First of all, we've got Shabbat. Second of all, we've got the Nagler family with their two daughters, twins, who are celebrating becoming bat mitzvah this weekend. And Brooke and Mia will be lighting candles with their family in just a moment, and we're so happy about that. And we're most of the way through the next cohort of our Sinai circles, one of which are the temple heads. So when they approached Cantor Micah and me and asked for the opportunity to deliver a service many, many, many months ago, the answer was an enthusiastic yes, because we know that there are so many different pathways to the spiritual, and one size never fits all. And so if they have a pathway to share with us, then it's on us to sit back, to open our soul, to open our heart, to open our mind to what this could be. There's music in this service that I've never heard before. I'm not a deadhead, and I'm going to just sit back and take it in. And for those of you who are not deadheads either, I urge you to do exactly the same thing. It may be your taste. You may become a deadhead after the first hearing of this music, and you may finish tonight thinking, well, that's not at all what I need from Shabbat. Both of those responses are the right responses. They're different. And that's what we are. We're a community who comes together in our differences. And so this Shabbat, we just encourage you to sit back and to be present, to take in, to consider, to love, to hate what you're experiencing, but either way, to be a part of it. So to begin with, we're going to turn to the creator of the temple heads. That would be Jeff Pardo, who can now turn on his camera, and we'll invite Jeff to also unmute himself as he begins with leading us through an opening prayer, one to just set the tone for what it is we seek to do this evening together.
So help me perfect my ways of loving and caring. Inspire me to make myself whole, so that I may honor your name and create a world of justice and peace.
Amen. And we invite now the Naglers to turn on their camera and to join us for lighting some candles. There they are. Helene's sitting there. She's got her daughters on either side. And Cantor Mike is going to lead us into the prayers for lighting candles. And the rest of us can go ahead and just settle in, say amen, and be present in the beginning of an important moment of each week.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom to the Naglers. Oh, here come the candles. Okay, good. So light them up. And while you do that, I'll invite Dan Shearer, another one of the Circle members, to turn on his camera and to unmute himself as we move on to the next reading of the service.
May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
Amen. I did not expect that all of you folks would have these fantastic backgrounds. I guess I should have, because the more I learn about the community of Deadheads, the more I realize that they take their brand identity very seriously. Thanks, Dan. The words hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad mean, look at how good and how pleasant it is when brothers and sisters sit together as one, come together as one community across religious and political and theological divides for the purpose of lifting up spirituality, which is what we're doing tonight. So we join Cantor Micah in these words, hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad.
I'll turn to Jeff Pardo again and invite him to turn on the camera and unmute. He's going to give us a little bit of a introduction to what this is all about for himself and for many of his deadheads.
The Grateful Dead and Judaism. Is there a real connection or just a lot of happy coincidences? Let's start with the name, the Grateful Dead. It was not chosen for any religious significance. In 1965, the band was known as the Warlocks. Wanting to change the name and not being able to agree on anything, Jerry Garcia looked at an old dictionary Phil Lesh had, and literally the first thing he saw was the Grateful Dead. From an old folk tale, it describes the tale of a traveler traveling alone who comes across a group of people refusing to bury a corpse because in life this person left a debt unpaid or promise unfulfilled. Using his last cent to see to the proper burial of the corpse, the traveler continues on his journey penniless. Eventually, he meets someone else traveling alone and they decide to continue their travels together. During their travels, the second helps the first man obtain great wealth or saves his life, and then reveals himself as the soul of the corpse he helped bury. In Judaism, Levayet Hamet and Chesed Shel Emet, a Jewish commandment to show loving kindness and an act of compassion for the preparation of the body for burial by members of the community. Certainly a happy coincidence. The only Jewish member of the band, Mickey Hart, did not join the band until 1969. Tikkun Olam, Repairing the World. In 1988, the Grateful Dead led an effort to help preserve the rainforest by purchasing land in Costa Rica in which deforestation would not be permitted upon that land. At the time, this piece of land was known as the Garden of the Gratefully Dedicated. The funds used to purchase the land were partially obtained by performing a benefit concert at Madison Square Garden on September 24th, 1988, and of course I was there. Tzedakah, acts of kindness, could be seen at virtually every concert. A ride to the show, a free veggie burrito, and particularly the miracle ticket. where a ticketless deadhead would walk through the parking lot holding up their index finger in the air, looking for that one miracle ticket. Not all were so fortunate, but many were. I myself have miracled someone in a parking lot. The smile you received in return was always fulfilling. However, I won't lie, it was also nice to get your money back. The Grateful Dead also started a charity organization, the Rex Foundation, in the 1980s, which assisted many worthwhile causes, too many to name here. But perhaps the even greater form of tzedakah was the band's willingness to permit the Deadheads to record their shows and then freely trade them. Seems like a foolish business idea, giving away your music. The Deadheads promoted the band and introduced new Deadheads across the globe. While this was not the band's intent, giving away the music just felt like the right thing to do. Each example may be a coincidence, but the fact remains there is a disproportionate number of deadheads that are Jewish. Dr. Leora Lawton, a professor at Berkeley, wrote a paper on Jewish deadheads and theorized the number of deadheads that may be Jewish could be as high as 30%. The percentage of Jews in the U.S. population is considerably much lower. Some have theorized that what brought Jews to the dead was the lack of spiritual experience they did not find in synagogues and temples. Speaking for myself, my family was not Orthodox, but I was raised in an Orthodox synagogue in the Bronx. Never finding that connection or any sense of spirituality at the Jewish Center of Pelham Bay, I found that sense of community and spirituality at Grateful Dead concerts. Understand, I've seen hundreds of concerts and by many other bands as well. Many were incredible, but there was always something special, something different about being at a Grateful Dead show. They had the ability to take me places I had never gone before. While I will never be religious and will always question the idea of a God, I have found that sense of community and spirituality at Temple Sinai. I know it's a paradox. This connection of Judaism and the Grateful Dead lives on today. Phil Lesh, while not being Jewish, lights Hanukkah candles at Terrapin Crossroads, a concert hall restaurant he owns and performs at on a regular basis. In addition, the past several years, Phil has conducted a Grateful Dead-inspired Passover Seder, the last being on Zoom, which I attended and was very moved by. There have also been weekend retreats celebrating Judaism and the dead, such as Blues for Challah and Unleavened Dead. Temple Beth Evergreen in Denver holds an annual Grateful Dead-inspired service. Of course, the last one on Zoom, which I attended and thoroughly enjoyed. Beth Evergreen is the inspiration for this service. There are also Facebook groups, Jewish Deadheads and Jews for Jerry, both of which I am a member. Websites as GratefulJewsNet.net and cover bands like The Promised Land, where all the songs are sung in Hebrew, whom I've seen perform at Garcia's in Portchester. And I'm sure there are many other examples. So, friends and family streaming both near and far, enjoy Temple Sinai's first annual Grateful Dead-inspired service as we begin to explore the connections between the Grateful Dead and Judaism. Enjoy.
Thanks, Jeff. Diane, you're already in position. Why don't you go ahead and share with us a few words about Lecha Dodi, which we're soon to begin.
Lecha Dodi sung to Ripple. Why? Because Ripple is the Adon Olam of Grateful Dead music. What does that mean exactly? Well, later you'll hear Adon Olam sung to a Grateful Dead tune because Adon Olam has universal lyrics that can be sung to any song. You might remember when we sang it to Hamilton that one time. The corollary to this in Grateful Dead composition is Ripple. The song can be sung with any lyrics, no matter what those lyrics are. Case in point, Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela Lecha Dodi. Lekrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela Shamor V'Zachor, B'dibor Echad, Hishmianu El Ham Yuchad Adonai Echad. U'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet, ve'litchila, dodi lekrat kala. Pene Shabbat nekabela lekrat Shabbat. Lechu v'nelcha ki michor habracha merosh mekedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila hitoreri kiva orech kumi uri shir daberi kavod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi lekrat kala. Please rise. Pene Shabbat nekabela bui v'shalom. Ateret bala gam b'simcha uvtzola toch emuneh. Am segula boi chala lecha dodi lekrat kala. Pene Shabbat nekabla lecha dodi lekrat kala. Pene Shabbat nekabela.
And you can be seated. Jeff, I really liked that. Does that mean I'm a deadhead? How marvelous. I also happen to know that there are a couple of our congregants whose heads will explode if there isn't a little bit of touch point music as well in the service. And so we're going to move on now to Shalom Aleichem, and we're going to use a good old-fashioned melody. Sometimes we call these melodies Miss Sinai, those that are so old, they go back so far, they're so deep in our Kishka that they're from Sinai.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Malach Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Advance the slide, Rabbi Day. Mi Malach Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Malach Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Malach Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Dan Shearer is going to tell us a little bit about Addicts of My Life. Oops, there you go, Dan. Sorry. Now you can start. Dan, you want to turn on your camera and unmute? Okay. While we're working on, oh, there it is. It's got his unmute. How about camera? All right. Well, maybe you can just talk us through it, Dan.
What is your favorite time of day? What is your favorite story in the Torah? What is your favorite color on a tie-dye t-shirt? We all have our favorites. And for every favorite, each of us could probably give you 10 reasons why. For me, it's sunrise and Jonah and the whale and where blue and purple merge. Why? Well, we don't have all night, so let's leave it at as the Grateful Dead would say. We wake up to find out that we're each the eyes of the world. We dive into life head first without a net. We turn on our unique intellect, feelings, and experiences to make meaning and understanding. This is one of God's great gifts to us. And this is why allegory in stories and in liturgy and in song is so powerful and can transport us to make connections in mystical and spiritual ways. Addicts of My Life, the song we're about to hear, is a powerful allegory about the one that is always there for us. It's written by the legendary Robert Hunter and is one of the most beautiful ballads in the Grateful Dead's vast repertoire. It was first performed live by the Dead 51 years and 1 week ago to this very night. And tonight it is sung by Jennifer Foreman and Diane Klein. I hope you will be moved by it, have your soul stirred, and find yourself connected with the one who is always there for you, and have the chance to draw new meaning from this moment in a unique and special way. Shabbat Shalom.
In the attics of my life, full of cloudy dreams unreal, full of taste no tongue can know, and lights no eye can see. When there was no ear to hear, you sang to me. I have spent my life seeking all that's still unsung. Bent my ear to hear the tune, and closed my eyes to see. When there were no strings to play, you played to me. In the book of love's own dreams, where all the print is blood. pages are my days, and all my lives grow old. When I had no wings to fly, wings to fly, you flew to me, you flew to me, you flew to me, flew to me, you flew to me, you flew to me. In the secret space of dreams, where I dreaming lay amazed. When the secrets all are told, and the petals all unfold, when there was no dream of mine, you dreamed of me, you dreamed of me. Ah.
The sages who crafted this prayer service understood that it takes time to let go of the stress and the strain of the week before you can really be present in prayer. And they called this part of the service that we've just completed Kabbalat Shabbat, the time during which we seek to welcome Shabbat. We're not there yet. Even though we've lit candles and technically it is, emotionally and spiritually, we weren't ready. But we are now. So this call to worship is known as Baruch, and it invites those who are able to rise to their feet and to turn their bodies physically towards the direction of the rising sun. And if we're all doing that, no matter where we are, Stamford or any other location, no matter whether we're in the north or south or our computer screens and TVs face one direction or the other, we know that for those moments, we're all in alignment. So if you're able, I invite you to please rise and to turn yourself towards the rising sun. It takes anyone with the slightest awareness to know that division is everywhere these days. We're divided on our politics. We're divided on science. We're divided on matters of social significance. Within and without the Jewish community, we're divided on the events happening in the Middle East. There's so much division, and in that, it'd be easy to feel pain because it's real. But these words of the Shema, they've been called the watchword of our faith. They speak of unity. They speak of God and unity. God is unity. And when we find ourselves in connection with others through something, and I'll suggest that that something is dissatisfaction. Nobody's happy with the way things are. In that, we can feel connected to everyone else. How we get past that, we'll work on that tomorrow. For today, let us recite the Shema, emphasizing the unity that does exist beneath it all.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
And you can return to your seats as we continue with Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
The liberation theology of the 60s taught that it was from the depths of the darkest places that a soul could finally find its voice to cry out to God in an authentic way. And the words of Mi Chamocha, which we move to next, are a nod to that. It was when our ancestors, slaves in Egypt, found the opportunity to move out of that space and into something as yet unknown. And maybe we are nearing that nadir of human existence, ready to finally open ourselves to what might be. So I'll invite Marty to go ahead and, hold on a second, I gotta find my cursor, to go ahead and, Cantor, can you do it? There you go, there we go, I got it. To turn on his video and his audio, and he'll read us into a little kavanah, a little intention that can help us really connect with this piece of reading.
Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, song of God's miracles, earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children, and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Bruce, you can go ahead and turn on your camera, and or Marty, are you doing it? Nope. There he is. There's Bruce.
Why?
And you can unmute. And let me bring up the prayer. Oops.
They never invited us.
Can I start?
Please do.
Source of all blessings, I am grateful for my life, for the blessings of my breath, the beating of my heart. Source of all blessings, I am grateful for beloved ones who share life with me, those in our world beside me, and those in worlds beyond my knowing. Source of all blessings, I am grateful to share life with our human family, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, Sikh. May we all walk gently upon our earth. Source of all blessing, I am grateful to share life with our, source of all blessings, I am grateful to be one with all creation, the flight of bird wings, the swirling of blue shoals, oceans deep, the runnings of wilderness creatures, the sway of forests green. Source of all blessing, I am grateful to be part of the spiraling of all space and time beyond my imagination. Yes, and again, yes, I am grateful to always be here. Where else could I go? For all this and more, I am grateful.
Amen. We're going to turn now to a video that that Judah recorded just the other day with a dear friend of his. I understand this is one of your oldest and longest friends. And I thought that I had it open. Give me a half a moment here to open it back up. I guess it's, oh no, there it is. Huh. Emil, I'm going to go ahead and keep your video off if you don't mind. Thank you. Let me find my.
I don't even know how it came on.
Mazel tov. I just got to find what I did with that video. That's weird. Okay, hold on a second. So Anabakoach, which is what I am searching for now, is it's an ancient video, an ancient prayer that the mystics picked up on because there's Kabbalistic undertones to it, and I am just not finding it here on my computer. So what I think we're going to do is,
I pulled up the email if you need me to share it.
Why don't you make it full screen and go ahead and share it with us? That would be just.
I have audio only. It looks like. Is there a video?
Oh, the video is awesome. Yeah, no, I got to find the video. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to move on into the Amidah. We're going to start the Amidah together. It's just one line saying, here I am, God, help me to offer the words correctly, help them find voice in my heart, and then with that we'll go on into silence. And I think I'll find the video. Yep, I think I found it. While we wait, and I will put that on while we're in our silent Amidah. So with everyone who's able, I invite you all to rise to your feet, and we begin together.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Anna bechoach gdulat yemincha tatir tzrura kaberinat amcha sagdenu taharenu nohora Nagibor dorshei Yehudecha lavat shamreim vachem tahareim rachmei tzidkadecha tamid gamleim Chasim kadosh v'rov tucha nahel adatecha yachida et damcha b'nei zochrei kedushatecha Shavatenu kabel ushmatzatenu Yodea ta'alumot Arushim yevod leolam v'hael
And we stay on our feet for another moment because we are now moving into the next part of our service. By the way, Judah, that was awesome. And if anyone was wondering, yes, that is a Jerry Garcia stuffed plush toy that he was cradling there. And if you were lucky enough to see the fantastically written article about the Temple Heads on the Stamford Advocate, you will notice, I think it's the same exact doll that Jeff Pardo was holding in the photo for that article. So I think he's now an honorary member of Temple Sinai. So we're going to continue now on our feet for another moment as we move into a Torah service. This is where we pause on Shabbat, we turn to our ancient texts, and we look for connections. We look for lessons. We look for meaning that our sages had 3,000 years ago that is still just as relevant in 2021. And we explain that through the modality of a Devar Torah, a word of teaching, which comes shortly after the reading. So, still on our feet, Cantor will lead us through a few lines of liturgy, and then we'll turn to the Torah reading itself.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'Kedushato.
You can all return to your seats, and I'm going to invite a number of people to turn on their cameras. We're going to invite Jeff Pardo and Shelley Wellfeld to join us on camera. And you'll see that on the screen now, you've got Cantor Micah's view. She has the Torah in her house, and so she's got a camera that's looking down on the real Torah.
Good, they're not seeing me.
What's that, Kent? Oh, Shelley, they're not seeing you? Let me see if I can add a spotlight for you. Hold on a second.
We could see Shelley.
You
Rabbi.
can? Good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There you are, Shell. So let's see, Jeff. Do you have the blessings nearby?
Yes, I do.
Terrific. So, folks, when we read Torah, we first start by blessing the experience to make sure that everybody knows that what's happening now is something of significance. It imbues the whole thing with something more than just casual learning or something rote, but tries to grab our attention. So you'll hear Jeff offer the beginning blessing, and to make sure that everyone's paying attention, the tradition is that we respond to him. Yamod lali ala Torah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, Naso et Rosh Bnei Gershon Gamhem Levet Avotam Lemishpechotam Mi ben Shaloshim Shana Vamala Ad Ben Chamishim Shana Tivkod Otam Kol Haba Litvo Sava La'avod Avodah Be'ohel Moed Zot Bodat Mishpechot HaGershuni La'avod U'ma'asa V'naseu Et Yeriot Hamishkan Ve'et Ohel Moed Michsehu Umichsei Asher Alav מלמעלה ואת אסף פתח אוהל מועד.
Yasher koach.
Jeff, you ready for the blessing after?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So just a quick word here. Shelley, you're off the plane from Israel, what, about 7 minutes now? And it's now what, about 1 o'clock in the morning or something for you?
Close to that.
And you are a member of both the Temple Heads Circle and the Torah Nerds Circle, those who love to lane Torah. And so it just felt perfect. Yasher koach, that was just beautiful.
Thank you.
Can you say a word about the Torah that we were just looking at?
Only a few words, because the history predates me, but the scroll that Cantor was using is affectionately at Temple Sinai known as Bambi. Though I think that was you, Cantor, who gave it that moniker. Torahs are almost always written on cow skin because they're a lot easier to catch. Cows, I mean. Deer have to be slaughtered in ritual ways that are very tough to achieve because you can't just hunt them. So for a deer to be kosher and for its hide to be used for a Torah is very unusual. So we call it Bambi because it's on deer skin, and it's very ornate and it's very old. I have no idea how old it is. And Cantor and I were just debating before the service how kosher it is because of some of the aging of the letters. But we're certainly pleased with it. We take it out at least once a year to have our confirmands use it for that big moment, and it's nice to use it for tonight as well. So I'm going to now turn the camera over to Judah, who is going to share that Devar Torah that I was referring to just a moment ago, as we try to learn a little bit more about what this Torah portion can say to us today. Judah, are you able to turn on your camera and unmute?
I'm unmuted, but my camera is not. Start my video. Here we go.
There you go.
Do you see me? Okay.
We gotcha.
Okay. Back in college, while taking a course in archaeology, I was struck and a bit confused by the words of Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, a French paleontologist, philosopher, and priest, who said, "We are not human beings on a spiritual journey. We are spiritual beings on a human journey." It took some time, four decades to be precise, for me to really understand what he meant. I participated in a Temple Sinai men's retreat a few years ago. Set in Litchfield County and nestled within the woods, crisp breezes carried the scent of pine, and the sun's rays filtered through the trees. Our Shabbat morning service took place on a bluff overlooking a small waterfall. The sound of rushing water and chirping birds accompanied the melodies that Rabbi Jay wove on his guitar. With eyes closed, body swaying, and mind uncluttered, I beat an African drum and sang, "Hine matovu umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad." How good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to sit together. It was one of those revelatory aha moments. And it was the words of Robert Hunter, the lyricist for the Grateful Dead, and the 1959 Stanford High graduate, that tied it all together. Once in a while, you get shown the light in the strangest of places if you look at it right. This week's Parsha, Naso, the longest in the Torah, covers a diverse range of themes from the census to the initiation of priestly blessings, and has a cast of characters that includes thieves, adulteresses, lepers, Kohanim, and the Nazir. I've been charged with giving a Devar Torah that discusses Naso and links it to the Grateful Dead, the long-enduring, iconoclastic 1960s band known for their literal and metaphorical trips. And I have 5 to 7 minutes to do it. I feel like the ancient sage Hillel, who 2,000 years ago was asked by a stranger to teach him the Torah while he stood on one foot. With less humility than Hillel, I offered the same response. That which is hateful to you, do not do to your fellow. That is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Now go and learn it. To me, this means that the essence of Torah, being a Jew, being a human being, hinges on the possibility of seeing another person as real and as deeply as one sees oneself, to walk a mile in their shoes. Zarim ozrim anashim zarim, rak kedei lilchotz et yadam. Strangers stopping strangers just to shake their hand. I went to my first Grateful Dead show by myself. I navigated the hordes hawking tie-dyed t-shirts, beer, and other substances, and dodged a bunch of people holding up one finger saying, I need a miracle. When I finally reached my seat, but before I could sit down, I was greeted by my seat neighbors. Hey, I'm Jim, this is Sunshine. Would you like some wine? A grilled cheese sandwich? I introduced myself, chatted a bit, then sheepishly acknowledged that this was my first time at a Grateful Dead show. They literally embraced me, then excitedly introduced me to their fellow Deadheads, a wandering tribe of groupies that followed their Moses from concert to concert throughout the Promised Land. Jim happily explained the structure and nuances of the upcoming show and answered my litany of questions. So what is the meaning of I need a miracle, I asked. Jim explained that it was a line from a Grateful Dead song used by fellow Deadheads down on their luck who are looking for someone to give them a free ticket. All of this while standing on 2 feet. In the Parsha, we are introduced to the Nazirite vow and the Nazir, any individual, woman or man, who elects to observe strict rules of abstinence that go beyond the 613 commandments, as if they were not enough. The Nazir was 1, forbidden from drinking wine or alcohol, 2, forbidden from getting a haircut or shaving, and 3, forbidden from being near any person that was dead. So let's put our Torah study skills to work. Can we make any pshat or surface connection between the Nazir and the Grateful Dead? We can certainly tick the box about not getting a haircut or shaving, but we're clearly going to fall short on the wine and intoxicants and the whole dead thing. Despite detailed requirements for becoming a Nazir, the Torah does not make it clear why a person would undertake these vows of abstinence for even a short time, nor does it indicate whether this period of asceticism enhances holiness or brings Nazir closer to God. In fact, there are only 2 Nazirs in the Bible, Samuel and Samson, and neither of them chose to become Nazirs. In Ecclesiastes, Solomon commanded, do not be overly righteous or overwise. Why should you destroy yourself? Perhaps excessive expressions of piety, such as abstinence, unrestrained fasting, celibacy, isolation, trying to be more kosher and more religious than one's neighbor, or seeking special status because of one's professed holiness, are the very expressions that the Torah frowns upon. Such manifestations of arrogance and hubris are a far cry from the humility of Moses and Hillel. The late Rabbi Jonathan Sachs asked, is the aim of the moral life to achieve personal perfection, or is it to create gracious relationships and a decent, just, compassionate society? Naso, the name of this week's Parsha, is usually translated as to take a census, but the literal translation of Naseu et Rosh is to lift the head. It refers to those individuals being counted, so they know that they count, that they are acknowledged, that they are not a statistic, but part of the nation, part of humanity. Hine ma tovu umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. how good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to sit together. Thank you to our committed leaders and teachers. Thank you to our humble rabbi who, before shaving off his COVID beard, could have passed for a band member or at least a roadie. And thank you to the Temple Sinai community, warm, inclusive, genuine, and respectful. Yet, I'm looking for a miracle, awaiting the day when we can all gather under one roof to sing, dance, make a l'chaim, and wake up to find out that we are the eyes of the world.
What we say at this moment is Yasher Koach. It means great contribution. You gave of yourself, Judah, to teach us, and we hope that you feel renewed as a result of what we give back to you. Thank you so much. We're going to take a moment now, folks, and offer prayers for healing. And so I'd like to invite you to put in the chat box the people who you know are hurting. They can be individuals, they can be groups. You can say those in the Middle East whose lives have been upended by violence, or it can be your sister who's not doing well. It can be physical ailing, or it can be spiritual. It can be monetary, it can be emotional. It can be whatever is weighing on someone that you care about and you hope to make a difference. Put the names in the chat box to me, and we'll share them in a moment. We have some lists already from the synagogue. We're thinking this Shabbat about Kim Brown, Jerry Credendino, Sandra Vargas, Jim Brown and Mike Vecchione, Larry Levinson, Alexa Murray, Malcolm Feuerstein, Susan Platt, Daryl Ladden, Ella Feuerstein, Sally Q, Robert Gott, Luann Dang, Sandra Mack, Dick Firestein, Renee Ferrer, the whole Ferrer and Goldstein families. Alexa, stop. Some name that I said made her think I was talking to her. And now carrying on with Leslie Rosenberg, Marion O'Grady, Martha Moresco, Sid Halsband, Terry Blank, Michelle Redel Misley, Michael Field, Michael Niederman, Jocelyn Lucenti, Joanne Rizzo, Miriam Glassman, Ben Glassman, Felice Karlitz, Kathy Mishkin, Joni Streets, Jeff Lawrence, Bonnie Augen, a friend, Cynthia, Mike Goldman, Rocky Herbert Bronstein, Jesse and Lissa Jones, Fred Jones, Jacob Schneiderman, Sharon Pardo, Irmgard Englich, Adina Jick, Steve Corman, Maria Philippe, Joyce Gordon, all of those who are suffering so terribly in India, Roberta Salzer, Linda and Jack D, Logan and Hunter P, Sandy, Sharon Pfeiffer, Bernard Sayre, Linda Stark, Helene Rudowski, and of course we think, as I said at the outset, of those in the Middle East who are praying that a ceasefire stands. We turn now to those words of, to add Jim Finkelstein and anyone who needs extra love, healing, and connection with others. May it be so.
Bless
We're drawing near to the end of our service. But I urge you not to go anywhere because I think I'm maybe most excited about the closing song, Adon Olam. But we're going to pause in the service now and turn back to the Naglers. So, Helene, if you want to go ahead and turn your camera back on. We have a wonderful opportunity, and everybody here tonight is required to achieve this important moment. And I'll explain what I mean. The two girls that are on... I spotlighted and Cantor did the same thing at the same time, so we canceled each other. The two girls sitting on either side of Helene, her daughters, of course, Brooke on Helene's left, our right, is much, much older than Mia by, was it a minute and a half or something like that? But we're going to 2 minutes. I'm sorry. These do matter in issues. You should have seen these girls at the rehearsal for the service tomorrow. Oh my God. I don't know how you and Dave have allowed them to live this long. They are perfect sisters. Oh, I love every minute of it. They are going to get their Hebrew names now. We're about to confer upon them Hebrew names, which can happen at any point in a life. And so the reason that it's so important that we do it here is because God left elements of creation up to us. Lots of the pieces were put in place, and then we were empowered in certain parts, like finding partners, creating human life, and giving names. So it's the community's responsibility to give names. I am going to state the names for us, but it's you, all of you who are here with us. We've got 78 computers and probably far more people than that. It's your job, and we won't be able to hear you, but you must say Amen after each one of these namings. So, Brooke, we're going to name you first, my little friend. And so I'm going to do the blessing first in Hebrew, and then I'll translate it. And you'll be ready for your Amen as soon as it's coming. Are you ready? Here we go. Brooke. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu kayem et hayalda hazot la'avia u'li'ima v'yikareh shema b'Yisrael bracha iris bat hotel. Yismach ha'av b'yotzet chalatzav v'tagel ima b'fri vitna. Zot haketana gedola tihye keshem shenichnasa lebrit ken tikanes leTorah ulechuppah ulema'asim tovim. Our God and God of our ancestors, sustain this young woman through her parents' loving care. Let her be known among our people Israel by the name Bracha Iris Bat Hatel. May she be a source of joy to her parents and an inspiration to our people and all humankind. As she's entered into the covenant, so may she also spend her life in the study of Torah. Someday, the blessing of marriage under a chuppah, and a lifetime full of good deeds. And Temple Sinai, let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Congratulations, Brooke. Mia, are you ready? Here we go. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu kayem et hayalda hazot la'avia u'li'imea v'yikareh shema b'Yisrael Michaela Beruria bat Hatel. Yismach ha'av b'yotzet chalatza v'tagel ima b'fri vitna zot haketana gedola tihye kishem shenichnasa labrit ken tikanes leTorah ulechuppah ulema'asim tovim. Our God and God of our ancestors, sustain this young woman through her parents' loving care, and let her be known among our people Israel by the name Michaela Beruria bat Hatel. She has been a source of joy to her parents. May she be an inspiration to all of us. And as she's been brought into the covenant between God and the Jewish people, may she also spend a life studying Torah, enjoy the blessings of marriage under the chuppah, someday soon, not quite yet, and a lifetime spent pursuing the work of good deeds. And Temple Sinai, let us say, Amen. So there we have it. Bracha Iris and Michaela Beruria. Beautiful, beautiful names. We'll use them tomorrow when you're called to the Torah as Banot Mitzvah. We're going to close the service now with a few more blessings. The first of which is the Aleinu, but we're taking out Aleinu, and instead we're using the lyrics from the song "We Can Run." And so I'll invite Jennifer Foreman to turn on her computer, video and audio, and then we'll be able to. There she is. There we go. And let me bring up the lyrics for us. Give me half a moment, Jennifer. There we go.
Thank you. So this was a late 1980s song. As Jeff mentioned, the Grateful Dead were very involved in saving the rainforest. And I also want to, I know a friend of mine is on who I was very involved in saving the rainforest with when we were in college. And we also went to a lot of Dead shows. So I just want to say hello to Monica, who just got her PhD in wildlife biology. So she's continuing this tradition. But this song talks a lot about our personal and communal responsibility, especially for the earth. We don't own this place, though we act as if we did. It's a loan from the children of our children's kids. The actual owners haven't even been born yet, but we never tend the garden and rarely we pay the rent. Most of it is broken and the rest of it is bent. Put it all in plastic, and I wonder where we'll be when the bills hit. We can run, but we can't hide from it. Of all possible worlds, we only got one. We got to ride on it. Whatever we've done, we'll never get far from what we leave behind. Baby, we can run, 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 but we can't hide. Oh no, we can't hide. I'm dumping my trash in your backyard. Making certain you don't notice really isn't so hard. You're so busy with your guns and all of your excuses to use them. Well, it's oil for the rich and babies for the poor. We got everyone believing that more is more. If a reckoning comes, maybe we will know what to do then. We can run, but we can't hide from it. Of all possible worlds, we only got one. We got to ride on it. Whatever we've done, we'll never get far from what we leave behind. Baby, we can run, 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 but we can't hide. Oh no, we can't hide. All these complications seem to leave no choice. I heard the tongues of billions speak with just one voice, saying, just leave all the rest to me. I need it worse than you see. And then I heard the sound of one child crying. Today I went walking in the amber wind. There's a hole in the sky where the light pours in. I remembered the days when I wasn't afraid of the sunshine, but now it beats down on the asphalt land like a hammering blow from God's left hand. What little still grows cringes in the shade till the nighttime. We can run, but we can't hide from it. Of all possible worlds, we only got one, we gotta ride on it. Whatever we've done, we'll never get far from what we leave behind. Baby, we can run, 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 but we can't hide. Oh no, we can't hide.
Thanks, Jennifer. The power of a service like this too is made most manifest when we pause and we remember. We remember those who have touched our lives, who have been meaningful to us as we've walked our own paths, and who are gone now, but who continue to influence us through the desire to live to our highest and best the way that they would have wanted us to. And so we pause now and we remember. I invite you all to rise as we mention the names of our loved ones before we recite Kaddish. This Shabbat, we mark the recent loss of Richard Dick Boris. It's Jamie Boris's father. And this Shabbat is the anniversary of the deaths of Ray Boslow, David S. Cohen, Sarah Dorfsman, Howard Feinstein, Peter Feldman, Sylvia Gaines, Mae Gepner, Barbara Gilbert, Polly Harris, Ruth Klein, Harry Lapidus, Minna U. Rosen, Carlin Schur, Jerome Schwartz, Janice Seligman, David Weintraub, and Louis Weintraub. They were blessings to those who were lucky enough to have them in their lives, and we honor their memory and God with the words of Kaddish. We say, Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divara chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabba mivorach le'olam ul almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal. Shemei dekudsha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shir'ata. Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May God send peace to all of those who are mourning and teach us how to comfort those who are bereaved, as together we say, Amen. And you can be seated. I have a couple of announcements to share with everyone this evening. A couple of things coming up for the congregation. First and foremost, this is so odd. For those who aren't accustomed to Jewish tradition, at the end of a service, we almost always gather for a nosh, for some wine, grape juice, and some sweets at the end of a Shabbat service. It's called an oneg, pleasure. We can't do that now, and so it's particularly meaningful that that David and Helene Nagler sponsored this virtual Kiddush, which has nothing sweet to it other than the sweetness of being with you and your family on such an important weekend. So we thank you for that, and we invite everyone to join us on Zoom tomorrow morning for the service that Brooke and Mia are going to lead for us. Tomorrow morning, we also have, before that, Bible study at 9 a.m. and everybody is welcome, whether you're a regular or a newcomer, Jewish or not, Sinai or not, you're all welcome to learn with us. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m., we have our weekly Havdalah service, just a sweet little taste to say goodbye to the Sabbath, 10, 15 minutes together, just beautiful. And then it's kind of a quiet week. Next week, we'll go back to a 7:30 service and an in-person option. So we warmly encourage anybody who feels ready to come on back and hasn't yet to do so. Please register for a spot on our website, although we haven't yet come close to filling up all the spots that we have. Just pay attention, please, that on June 6th, the Hope in Motion Walk will happen virtually. Temple Sinai has always made it a huge priority. And again, this year it is. Fundraising for the Bennett Cancer Center is one of our most important priorities. And then on the 13th, we invite everyone to join us virtually for our annual meeting, where you'll hear a bit more about what this year has looked like programmatically, where we are financially, and to help us swear in our new leaders and the board and the leadership team. And we also have some important issues to vote on as we change some of our bylaws. A word of thanks, especially to Jeff Pardo. An enormous amount of work went into pulling together an awful lot of loose ends. Yes, all of your circle members put in hard work as well, but none of them as much as you. And so you made it possible for the cantor and me to pull this off with all of you. And the artwork that was behind you is creation that you guys, you all commissioned for tonight, and we love it. So we congratulate you and look forward to many more happy moments together. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Diane Klein, who will share a few more thoughts with us before our closing song.
We cannot start the video in here.
You can't start the video? Hold on a second.
Can you?
You'd be able to.
We can't start the video?
Try one more time.
We can't.
That's really weird. Okay, try it one more time.
Nope, you've stopped it. So for some reason we can't.
Hold on. Let me
So funny. It does say that it's enabled to start video.
Oh, here, let me try that now. Now you should be able to. I don't know why it. maybe
Oh,
might share
there's
too.
2 of us. Can you do the other one?
Yeah, there.
No, it's for everyone.
What's the other one?
Everyone
There we
should.
go.
There
Yay.
you go.
Okay. Yay.
I don't know why that happened, everyone. I'm sorry. Thank you.
You're in a space with 2 computers. Leave the
Okay, we're
audio.
good. So remember how earlier I said that Adon Olam is the Jewish liturgical corollary to ripple? Well, that's because Adon Olam can be sung to any tune, no matter the rhythm or syncopation. Here, we're singing it to Casey Jones, a song about a train and driving that train.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Li'eit Nasav, V'hefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Leva'ado Yimlach Nora, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Hove, Ve'hu Yeh V'tifara, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Li'eit Nasav, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni, le'am shelo le'achbira, ve'li reshit, ve'li tachlit, ve'lo ha'oz ve'ha'misra. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Le'eit Nasav, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Ve'hu Eli V'chago Ali, V'tzorchev li be'etzara, Ve'hu nisi le'manos li menat kosi be'yom ekra. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Li'eit Nasav, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. V'ya'ado af kidruchi, V'yeit ishan ve'a'ira, V'imruchi Giviati Adonai li ve'lo ira. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Li'eit Nasav, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Li'eit Nasav, V'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Adonai li ve'lo ira. Shabbat Shalom.
Yay! Shabbat Shalom, Temple Sinai. It has been a blast. I am so proud and and finishing spiritually very high this evening. Grateful to all of you, wishing everyone a Shabbat Shalom, and hope to see you all very, very soon. Thanks, everyone.